Alright everyone, today we're going to be doing a little bit of world building in Godot, and we're going to be demoing the Tilemaps feature. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Let's create a new scene. I'm going to do a 2D scene, and then right click on the root node, add a child, and you can just search for Tilemap and hit create. I'm going to go ahead and hide myself so I don't block any of the settings here. In the right hand inspector, let's just click on the tile set. Choose a new tile set, and if you click on it again, it'll expand out the properties. If you look closely at your grid, you can adjust the tile shape to be either square, isometric, half offset square, and hexagon. For this example, I'm just going to set to a regular square. The physics layer is another important callout. This is how you'll add collisions to your sprites. Using the world builder, so we're going to be doing that in a sec. And the other important thing here is the tile size. For the sprite sheet I'm working in, it's going to be 16 by 16, but I also have some animated water that's 128 by 128, so we'll have to account for that as well. And then there's the layers section. This is how you will overlap sprites, so we want to spend a little bit of time and configure this. For the name, I'm going to call the first one -2. I'm basically just going to name it the z-index, and I'm going to set the z-index to be -2. And I'm going to add 5 elements total. So I'm just going to go up the chain here, set a -1, and then I'm going to set a 0, and then I'm going to set a +1, and then I'm going to set a +2. And that's going to be my basic layers for this demonstration. At the bottom, you'll notice that the no sources is configured message is giving, and it says to go to the tile set at the bottom tab to add one. So we'll click tile set, and then we're going to click, I'm going to be working with Harbor from itch.io, so I can drag that in. And the pop-up is basically asking for non-transparent texture regions. If you're working with an animated tile, I recommend clicking no. If you're not, then I recommend clicking yes. What it does is it basically ignores fully transparent tiles, so it makes it a little bit easier on the selection process. The tile set also allows you to define the texture size, separation margin, as well as edit individual properties such as z-index, collisions, and much more. But for now, let's go to the tile map and let's begin painting. We'll start by painting a pier. You can just click and drag to make a selection, or you can make a partial selection and hold shift and then make additional selections. Choose the layer you want to paint on. For this one, I'm going to start at 0, and then I'm going to choose the pencil and make sure you have the arrow selected in the main viewport. Then you just click to place your object, and then if we want to extend the pier, I'm just going to lower the selection, and then I can actually expand out the pier very easily. If we want to add additional elements to the pier, that can be a little bit tricky. If I make a selection and I try to add it, it's going to delete my tile set. Let's undo that. This is where the layering can come in handy. You basically hit your drop down, and let's put this on, we'll do maybe layer 2. And then you can notice it just overlaps it, and then it won't actually get rid of my sprite. I can use the flip horizontal to get some variety in my sprites as I actually place them out in this scene. And then for the bottom set, I'm going to use the bigger post. Place one here, and then I'll flip it. Place another one here. And then I'll place this one right here, like so. Alright, I think that looks pretty good so far. Let's go ahead and add our player in. So we can go to our player scene. I'm just going to copy, go back to the new scene, select the root node, and I'm just going to paste those in. If we press F6 to play the scene, we can save it. And now we can actually see what this looks like. So you can see I actually go behind the the little pillars, and that's because it's on a z-index of 2, and I think my player is on z-index of 0. But the other issue is you'll notice that I go through them. So let's figure out how to add some collision. So we're going to select our tile map again. And remember the physics layer, we can expand that out and add a single element. My player is on layer 1, so I'm just going to set it to be 1, 1. That's fine for me. Then we got to go back to the tile set. We got to make a selection. We're working with these 2 tiles here, so I can just select this one right here. And then you'll notice near the bottom there's a physics layer, so you can just scroll down and have access to that. If you select the 3 dots, you can do a reset to default shape. It'll just black out the whole square. But if you want to make a custom collision, so you don't want to make basically the whole square, we can clear that. And you can define a custom shape to be kind of whatever you want it to be, just by clicking around and connecting the little dots. So I'm going to define some custom shapes here. So click here, and then shape around. And I think that'll be just fine for my collision. So now if I play the scene, and I go up, you can see that I am colliding with the little post, and I can't go through it anymore. And you can use that same technique to apply tiles to block all around, or you can modify the existing tiles and add collision so the player can't just walk off willy-nilly like that. Now the other issue is you'll notice on this one I should be standing on the rope, so let's see if we can fix that. So we'll go back to the tile map, and that's on the little one here. We're currently on layer 2, so what we can do is click our arrow, and then I can cut that piece out, and then I might actually do both. So let's select, and then let's cut both of them out, and maybe let's put this on layer 0. Paste that in like that. Whoops. We'll have to do that on layer 1 actually. And I don't think that's going to work because I think our player is on layer 0. So you see we're still going underneath it. But with it separated like that, we can take our player and we can move him to layer 1. And now I should be on top of that. But I still show up underneath on the other one. So you can see how layers can be pretty powerful. Basically just cut up your sprites, layer on different layers, and then you can get the z-index correct. So you go underneath or over depending on the position of the sprite. And you can even custom design that using the tile set editor as well. So it's pretty powerful. But we're missing some water, so let's go ahead and work on that. The water's actually pretty tricky. So let's go back to the tile map. Here's my water animation here. I can drag that in. I need to be in tile set though, so we'll drag that in over here. Now this is an animated texture, so I'm going to choose no to this. And then the tile size is wrong. It's doing 16 by 16 because that's what my tile mapping is set to. So I'm going to set this texture to be 128 by 128. And then you can see the different animations here. I'm going to select the first animation frame. I'm going to go to the select window and select it again. Not worried about physics, so I'm going to collapse that and I'm going to expand the animation section. We have 4 columns, so I will set columns to 4. And then for the animation, I'm just going to hit add element. And then it's basically adding in the frames in the different flow here. I'm going to set the duration to be 0.2 and all the various frames here. Then I got 3 more. So I'm going to set these to be 0.2. Now with the animations set up for the frames and their duration or speed, I can come back to Tilemap. I can just select one of the tiles, go back into pencil mode. I'm going to set my layer to be -2, and then I can just paste in a layer here, and then when I play that, you can see that the water is animating correctly. The issue with doing it this way though is our tile map is set for 16 to 16, but this is a 128 by 128, so if you want to do it this way you can. The problem with it is you're going to have to manually click and move and set up your water, which if you have a small scene, that's probably fine. And for the most part, you can get it to, it might even look a little bit better because you get a little more variation with it. So maybe that looks okay for you. But if you have a lot of water and you want to use some of the other tools with the tile map, like the rectangle tool, because the sizing isn't correct, it's going to do this. So you see it's basically way off, right? And then same thing with the line tool. If I were to go back and I select the line tool and I drag that across, the lines are actually going to be messed up as well. So it's not effectively going to work that way. The only way it'll work is you have to place one at a time and kind of do it that way. The fix for that, or another workaround you can do, is you can simply create another tile map. So if we right click, add another child node, we'll do Tilemap 2, and then we're going to go in here and add a new tile set. This time we'll define the actual size of our water tile, which is 128 by 128, and then we can go into our tile set, add our water in, choose no. I'm going to select my first in the series, and then we have to add the animations again. So we add 4 columns, and then add first 5 elements here. Alright, now with that set, we can go to Tile Map, select one of the tiles, and we choose our rectangle tool now. And then you can easily just drag your scene, press F6 to play it. Oh, I put it on the wrong layer, but you can see it's kind of working there. If we select the tile map, because this is the only one we're working with, we can just drop the Z index to be -2, and then we can bring back our pier. So you can see that's working pretty good. And then we can go back to the original tile map, and we can build out a little bit more here. If you have sprites that you need to change the size for, what you can do is you can select them, and in the tile setting you can delete them, and you select just one of the tiles, and you can actually expand it out so it's basically one selection. So when you go to the tile map to actually use it, it's a little bit easier because you only have to do one click. And we're going to go to number 1 here, and then I'm going to go to pencil, and then I'm just going to put that on right there. Then I can go back to layer 0, and let's maybe build this out right here. And I'm just going to be fairly quick with this. And then maybe we do this one. Let me come across over here. And then maybe we'll just be a little bit lazy and use our rectangle tool. Space this out a bit. And then what you can do as well is, some of these tiles have some coloring in them. So you can make a selection, set the scatter, so it'll kind of be random. And then we can use the rectangle tool as well And then as you place these, it'll randomly place some tiles over others. That looks good there. Now we can also add in our ships. So we'll drag in, whoops, gotta go to tile set. Add in the ships. There's no animations here, so I'll just do that. Go back to Tilemap. Let's pick a ship. So maybe this one right here. We can just click and drag. And then I'm going to choose my pencil. And I'm going to turn random off. And then I'm maybe going to put the ship over here somewhere. And then go back. And it has some other ships right here. So maybe I'll do this one. Now this one should cover. I don't want it to be on the same tile, so because if I do that there, it's going to delete it. So I'll just set my layer to 1, place that there. That works okay. And then maybe I want to add some like an animated component. So what you can do is on the node, we can add a child node. We'll search for sprite, and then just choose the animated sprite 2D. I'm going to quickly create that. We'll add an animation in the inspector. We'll do a new sprite frames. Click it again to open it up. And then I can simply import my sprite sheet for my lanterns. And then my horizontal is 6, my vertical is 1. Select these, add the frames. And now if I hit play, that's moving all right. And then I can just transform this over. Maybe like that. And that's just a fun little element. And then maybe I can add a script so it plays that animation automatically. And I have a script already set up for that. Now if we hit play, you can see just with that, we have a little bit more atmosphere going on with our world. And that was fairly quick. So that's kind of it. I mean, it's a basic setup. I like the Tilemap editor. What's a little confusing is the animated texture component is deprecated. So I kind of went along that route and I went in a rabbit hole. So I would avoid that because you might have issues with it. Everything you can do in the animated texture, as far as I know, can be done in the Tilemap editor. So I don't think there's any need to even use it. So, but hopefully you found this helpful. But yeah, if you did, leave a like. Please subscribe to help grow the channel. And thanks for watching.